Today, we have a story about OP's girlfriend who loses a good portion of her class features in one battle. Let's try to move along on the fire. So my girlfriend is playing a 5th edition campaign at level 4. She's playing the Grave Robber Rogue subclass from Sina Una. For those who don't know, that's essentially a warlock equivalent to Arcane Trickster, and her magic is funneled, at least in part, through a magic ring that she stole from a gravesite. As a note, I'm not actually part of this campaign. This story comes from her. I did already have history with the DM of this party. They were briefly a party member in a campaign I played in and played a homebrew version of the Artificer. Not a homebrew subclass, but a total rework of the class because they didn't think it was that different from a wizard subclass as written. They had no idea how infusions worked and apparently didn't read it closely enough to know the Artificer is a half-caster. They would go on to refuse to show us their class features and character sheet. They seemed to be insecure or nervous about them, in which case, why even play the character? So we didn't know who we were fighting alongside. From what I gathered, they were a full caster with Eldritch Blast, but needed to prepare not only their spells, but plan out what slot they would spend on each spell at the beginning of the day. Later, in a major dungeon-wide combat, they would spend multiple turns rummaging through a desk trying to find information on magic items while the rest of the party was downed by cultists and let a major antagonist escape. So make of that what you will. So first of all, the party my girlfriend is in went multiple months and the entirety of level 3 without a single combat. They began at level 2. Now that can be effective in a campaign, except there was no party discussion beforehand about the campaign being combat light, and instead substituting combat with heavy role-playing moments or opportunities for political intrigue. They quickly entered a rhythm of travel for miles, long rest, who's on watch, perception check, nothing happens, repeat. Finally, girlfriend asked the DM explicitly for combat, since she had gone a full level without ever having the opportunity to use her subclass features. The DM agreed and ran a somewhat sudden but relatively satisfactory combat with some woodland spirit animals. That's all well and good, but the DM announced to the party, "I might end up retconning all of this. I'm just doing it because a player asked me to." That indicates to me that they don't care about their players contributing to the game, and is also remarkably passive-aggressive and pretty immature. But, whatever. Everyone makes slip-ups, and it's easy to misunderstand a sentence. Well, here's the serious thing. In the last session, a group of people appeared hunting down the party. In particular, they were hunting down girlfriend's rogue for her magic ring. A party member absence resulted in the combat becoming party unbalanced, as girlfriend went down twice in the combat, and the party wizard and an NPC went down once each. However, girlfriend's character would then go on to full out die, because 2 different hounds decided to attack her unconscious body. For some reason, no one in the hunting party bothered to take the ring before killing her. Only after the dogs killed her completely did one bite off her hand, ring and all. After the fight, the DM decided Girlfriend was resurrected by unknown forces, though still missing a hand. Again, I like to think things like permanent character injury should probably be established as a precedent before they arise in-game, but maybe that's just a me thing. However, after beating the Raiders and Hounds, the rest of the party decides to keep her ring. In particular, the party's paladin has been pointedly suspicious of Girlfriend's rogue all game, despite her never giving any in-game reason for suspicion. She masquerades as a noble, has never claimed to be anything but a noble, and has not committed any crimes within the vicinity of the party. Yet, because her character sheet says Grave Robber Rogue, she is targeted for suspicion. This ring is essentially the equivalent of an arcane focus for her character, and without it, many of her class features don't function. So due to actions undertaken by both the DM and the rest of the party, her character has lost a hand, meaning she can't even use her bow anymore, and a sizable fraction of her class features are gone without her consent. So the obvious thing is that it looks like the DM was punishing. Since they went months without combat, losing a hand and not being able to use combat skills kind of don't matter in this game. But by doing this, it makes the player more hesitant to be in battle, because now they are weaker. Frankly, what is the point of leveling up if you can't use any of your skills? But maybe some info is missing from the story. I also noticed that the DM was fine retconning the non-consequential battle, but this deadly one that was all about targeting her character was just fine. Ultimately, Girlfriend should have left long ago. It's fairly apparent that this group is focused on heavy role-playing rather than combat, so it would be best to find a group offering what you want, since it looks like this group is just fine as it is. What do you all think about this situation?